Hello again. I was interested in the comments to the video which I made yesterday about Singapore and Nigeria and the way that one former colony flourishes while the other limps along, barely keeping pace with the modern world. People suggested that Nigeria's condition was something to do with the fact that there was oil there and that this caused wicked companies and malicious countries like Britain to screw up the country so that they could get hold of the resources, which is something I've seen suggested before. Of course, the difficulty there is it's not just Nigeria that's very poor. African countries without a lot of mineral resources or oil are also very poor. In fact, most countries in sub-Saharan Africa are very poor, whether or not they've got anything worth stealing by the West. One possible reason for one state doing better than another might be that people from East Asia tend to do better academically than those in Africa, and that this has the effect of creating wealth, even in a nation like Singapore, which has no other resources than the brains of the people living there. This is a tricky subject, though, because there are other good explanations for the high achievements of Chinese people compared to other ethnicities, aren't there? Let's just for a moment look at another specific example of this business and look at some of the ideas which people routinely bring out when a discussion of this sort comes along. In 2018, Singapore, which has a population of 5 million, managed to send 210 undergraduates to study at the best and most competitive university in Britain, which is Oxford. Nigeria, which has 45 times as many as people as Singapore, sent 10 students to Oxford. The excuses which people almost invariably advance for this kind of thing are intriguing because they generally entail circular reasoning. It's worth looking at them, though, because we hear those same lame arguments in other things, such as school examinations in Britain, crime, and a host of other things, income, who has the best jobs and so on, home ownership. Just to make the degree of difference perfectly plain, if 5 million people in a nation sent 210 students to Oxford, then a nation of 205 million with equal resources and equal intellectual ability should really send 45 times as many, which in Nigeria's case would be 9,450. Instead, they sent 10. That's a very big difference in achievement. Inevitably, the old explanations for this disparity come out, that there are different traditions in Chinese families who value education and books more, that there is greater pressure among Chinese children to succeed, that Singapore has better schools than Nigeria, that parents in Singapore have more money to spend on private tutors and so on. These explanations tell us nothing at all. Instead, they just move the question a stage further away and confuse matters, allowing us to kick awkward and potentially racist discussions into the long grass. Do Chinese parents in Singapore really value education more than Nigerians? If so, then why do they? If Singapore has better schools than Nigeria, why should that be? Parents in Singapore have more money to spend on private tutors than those in Nigeria? Why is that? I'm sure that viewers have heard similar reasons brought up when we see that Chinese students in Britain get 3 times as many top A-level grades as black students. The same old topics like money and culture are brought forward, but without anybody daring to press the point and ask questions about what causes a Chinese parent to have the money to pay for extra tuition, which is a consequence of his perhaps having a better job than many black parents, which in turn might mean that he himself worked hard at school. In short, why do black parents in Nigeria have a lower disposable income than Chinese parents in Singapore? Is this a relic of colonialism? In that case, why do Chinese parents in Britain tend to have higher disposable incomes than black parents in Britain? That must be institutional racism, perhaps. Why then do parents in Hong Kong have a higher disposable income than those in Jamaica? Is this more colonialism and racism? My own feeling is that this is a situation which needs to be examined very hard and the root causes tracked down. Talking vaguely of income and culture is a lazy way to avoid dealing with a situation which is very serious. So great is the discrepancy in achievements in some areas that I don't think the usual alibis can really stand up to scrutiny. When we see that Singapore sends proportionally 1,000 times more students to Oxford than Nigeria, that is such an enormous difference, I don't think it can be ignored or brushed aside.